for them to decide on if they was going to do something, what's about to be done. It wouldn't have been none of that. It'll be like, okay, yeah, they're getting locked up right now.
Right.
Or unless I'm getting shot. But other than that, it would have been locked up somewhere. So at the end of the day, I see a lot of the racism. I'm not as woke as my fiance is, but he's more woke than I am. But at the same time, I do see a lot of stuff happening and stuff just for me going outside because I'm in Fayetteville, and there's a lot of racism that goes on every day. And a lot of my friends, they play like they're lost about it, or they be like, well, I just don't want to talk about it. And I'll be like, well, you can see what's going on right there. Look and see what's going on. Just open up your eyes.
Well, a lot of times people don't want to have that hard conversation. It's easier to say, I don't want to talk about it, and let's just blink and hope it doesn't exist. When it's right there in your face, it's easier to turn your back and say, you know what, nah. Because I guess some people may be afraid of an opposing point of view as well. I've seen a lot of people get real emotional because some people may think one way and someone may think a different way. So now the root cause of the issue is lost in a disagreement based on viewpoint. So, 90% of people that I've seen are non-confrontational. They talk a good game.
That's true.
But when it's time to have a hard conversation where you're not going to like half of what you hear, and somebody else is not going to like half of what you say, but then we don't work to come to that middle ground. We just kind of stay right there. And instead of going through that, right, a lot of people say, well, no, let's just leave it alone. Yeah, they're setting my house on fire, but let's just leave it alone. I could just call the insurance company and get my check. So it's difficult when we, you got half of us that don't want to talk about it. You got some of us that want to talk about it. And the last part of the group is saying, you know what, let's go tear the whole place up because before they get us, we're going to get them. So it's kind of hard because everybody's on a different page in a different book in a different library. And what do you think we need to do to actually get on some type, at least get in the same book, even if we're on different pages, so that we can finally come up with a game plan?
Dean, one of the interesting things that's happening, because even brought it up here in Durham recently, is that while we're all on the same page of agreeing that there needs to be fights against these groups that are definitely on the opposite sides, whether you want to call it the alt-right, not or whatever. Unfortunately, with even our own groups and everything, there's division within those groups. Because we actually just had a vigil yesterday, and one of the things that happened at the vigil was that there were divisions within the progressive community, and that was brought up in the newspaper article, and I think they're trying to do some follow-up articles about it, the fact that, not everybody is on the same page, even in the progressive movement, because there are some people that are a little bit more, to put it bluntly, a little bit more militant. They want to, if they want to brandish sticks, they want to brandish sticks back at them. And if they want to brandish other kind of like weapons, they kind of like want to go at them, fist to fist, hand to hand, and things of that nature. And they're not afraid to even coming back to the Confederate monuments. There's a couple groups that are basically like, look, if the government doesn't want to take them down, we'll take them down. So then you have like these divisions even within our own progressive parties and our own progressive movements and everything. And that's kind of like what's going on as well now. There's people that definitely have a little bit more of a radical side to their movement. They're even talking about how that's even happening within our Durham mayoral race, because we've got three candidates that are definitely progressive candidates, but, some of them may be a little bit more moderate than others, and some of them may be a little bit more on the side of Black Lives Matter and things of that nature than others. So that's kind of like creating a division even within the community. And also there's the division of the youth movement, because some of these people that are developing these thoughts and even coming up as leaders, they're not young leaders. They're youth leaders. And, of course, they want to learn from the past, and they want to learn from the folks that were there even in our father's generation in like the 50s and the 60s. But, hey, they got some ideas that are totally different from our ideas. And so, as we said on this show before, it's a matter we got to listen to all the sides. We got to, definitely learn from our elders, but we also have to hear what our youth are saying.
Right. Everything that was done in the past is not 100% correct, and everything that's being suggested in the present is not 100% wrong. And we got to learn how to mix that whole thing up like gumbo. There are 917 hate groups in the United States, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. 917. So, when are we going to play chess and not be reactive but proactive? And that's I guess that's a question for you too, Beverly. Like, what are your thoughts or your feelings on how things, and when you're watching things happen with us, what do you see that some of the things that we could do better? Because it's not all wrong, but it's not all right either.
Well, hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, this is Beverly. Well, hold on. Here goes Rizzle. I'm going to let him talk and say something as well.
Okay.
Hello, brother.
Welcome to the Voice of the People. How you doing?
I'm doing good, my brother. I missed the topic. Y'all talking about what's going on in Charlottesville, Virginia?
Yeah, we're talking about Charlottesville and even some of what's happening here in Durham, because there was one of the things I was bringing up was that there was a vigil here in Durham, and part of what came up out of the vigil was that there was some division even within the progressive folks that are definitely fighting against the racism of what went on in Charlottesville. So part of what we were talking about is how we can learn from the past and also listen to our youth voices that are out there that are at the head of a lot of the leadership.
Okay. My take on this right here is we can learn from the past, but definitely that, because, we had, in the 1800s, we had some slave rebellions before Nat Turner and Dave Marzies.
Mm-hmm.
He's from South Carolina, and we was him that tried to help our house niggas grow out. We need to learn from that. We need not to help no house niggas out, and we need to come together as one and don't be so quick. Like a lot of people criticize Dr. King from how he spoke before he died. I mean, a couple years before he died, he spoke one way, then 2 years before he got killed, he was speaking like Malcolm, because Malcolm and not Malcolm, sorry, Elijah Muhammad and my brother Elijah Muhammad and Dr. King, they're both from Georgia, and so he could understand. I mean, after he met with Malcolm, he could understand why they spoke the way they spoke, but they both from Georgia, and everybody try to criticize Dr. King that he took money and all this stuff and all about white folks. It was something that said that once upon a time he did say that if he had to start back over, he'll never bring his family to a burning house. And you see that white folks is no good. And we need, like this, Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry, y'all. My brothers and sisters in that stuff, man, I wish they don't be in there, because a white man, anything a white person over it, ain't going to do us no good. Ain't going to do us no good at all. So I think we should organize without white folks' money. We need to be as one. And the only thing bad about us right now, black people, let's get on about this religion thing. Everybody want to be on this religion, that religion. And we just come together and be all nationalists, want our people first, be black before we anything else. Because we were born at our mama womb, come out black before we even turn Christian, Muslim, or whatever race we might be. So I think that we can come together collectively and talk about what we should do without white people. We don't need nobody white in our agenda. Because black folks, we always so quick to help out everybody else. And right now, I'm thinking right now, things we're looking now, I'm thinking they're going to try to make the LBG, try to say that's a black movement for black people. And that's not us. That's a European thing. I mean, I don't have no problem with my brothers and sisters as lesbians, whatever, but that's not a thing that we did. That's a European thing. I'm sorry I'm bouncing all over the place. Just had my thoughts just bouncing all over the place right now.
There's no problem with that. No, there's no problem with having your thoughts bounced all over the place. We do that on a regular basis.
We live
Hello?
I'm sorry, I know you're live.
Yeah. One of the things I was curious about, though, is that you were saying that you would like to definitely not include the white community and things of that nature. I was wondering how you felt about, like, those of the white community consider themselves progressive as well as other minorities, because there are other minorities that have gone through other problems as well, and sometimes we have to unify, because I know even the AIM, which is the American Indian Movement, have often talked about organizing with the Muslims and talking about organizing with other nationalist groups, as has certain Latin American nationalist groups. So I was wondering what your thoughts were in terms of, like, doing a collective organization if it's all about a like-minded goal.
Okay, it's too many of us who want to try to help out everybody else. It's billions of us, billions of black people in this world. When I say world, I'm talking about it's people in China is black, it's people in Africa black, it's people in Haiti, the American Republic, they black. So I think all together, collectively, black people, that's it. Not no Indians, not no Europeans, not nothing else but us. There's too many of us out here to want to help from other races. Because right now we spend over $1 trillion a year, every year, on bullshit. Christmas. Look how much money we spend on Christmas. And look how much we spend on booze and wine and liquor and cigarettes and stuff. And Jordans, LeBron James, sneakers and stuff. If we start spending our money on these brand name stuff and take our money and put it together, we can have our own reality, our own world. So no, I don't want no move for no white person.
I'm here.
Indeed. You know, now, one of the things she was trying to do, and I don't know if she's still with us, but you know if Jessica's still with us, because one of the things she's been talking about has been trying to mobilize, get more of our folks into the minority community in terms of the computer world, in addition to her other leadership kind of qualities. So do you know if she's still with us?
Okay. Jessica, you still with us?
I am. Hey, Mark, I'm on the phone.
Hey. All right.
Hey,
we got
Jessica.
Hey, voice of the people. Just listening in and taking it all in.
I know you're taking it all in, Jessica. I was just wondering what your thoughts were, because I know one of the things that you have done, both when you were at American Tobacco, which you're not at now because you're at the Leadership Triangle, if I'm saying it correctly, but one of the things that you have always been a proponent of is trying to find a way that we can bring more of our folks into fields that are not necessarily fields that we're into already or that we haven't had representation in. I'm thinking about like the way that you connected with Google and the Google whole initiative to get more of us into the computer field in terms of learning coding and things of that nature. So I was just wondering what if you could tell a little bit about how that's worked and some of your thoughts. And also, when I think of leaders in Durham, you're definitely a leader. So I was wondering what some of your thoughts are as to how leadership is developed and what it takes to be a leader. I know that's a lot to handle, but if you'll just tackle it on.
I'll give it a shot. Okay, so I appreciate the platform to even have this conversation. It's been a rough couple of days, and so I think, you know, spinning out of what happened over the weekend, it's a perfect sort of reflection of what's going on in many ways in the tech community, which is what I'm here to talk about. But I think I'll probably be, as a former person was kind of bouncing back and forth, I'll probably do the same thing, because it's tough to have a conversation about tech and diversity and equity and not talk about equity just in general. Yes, diversity in tech is a big issue. It's getting a lot of attention, but it's certainly making little progress these days. And so what we're working on in Durham is trying to move that platform forward. And I have to say, the Durham market, believe it or not, because Durham is a small city, but it always ranks consistently in like the top 5 nationally when it comes to tech. And so what we've done here with the American Underground is make it a priority that we would be the most diverse tech hub in the world. And we have done that to some degree. We're number 1 when it comes to blacks in tech. We're number 2 when it comes to women. We fall, sadly, very short when it comes to our Latino friends, but we're trying to make some strides there. And really, you know, it does all come down to leadership. You just have to be intentional about this work. If you're not intentional, then it'll just continue to be status quo, and status quo in the community with diversity is about 2 to 3% of blacks are in tech, in the big tech jobs out in San Francisco, making the big dollars and changing wealth for their families. That number is less than 5% and right around 2 to 3% when you talk about folks in like computer science working at Google and Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter and all that. And those numbers haven't changed. Period. There was a light shown on those numbers in 2013 when Google and the big tech companies out in the valley were required. They were put up against the mat on this, saying you have to release your diversity numbers, and they refused. They said it's a conflict of interest and it's a privacy issue, when everybody knew it had nothing to do with that. It was the fact that they were abysmal. The numbers were just absolutely just ridiculous. And so in 2013, Google was the first to step forward and present their numbers, and they were exactly